Hello, I'm Sam Wright for A Beaten Generation, and although we're usually looking at music that's created in today's climate, today we're going to have a bit of a change, look at music that was made a while ago but is still just as important today. Before we get into the three that have made the pick to be talked about, I'd just like to mention a couple that didn't make it very narrowly. First we got the Smiths, Meat Is Murder, which I'd have kicked myself if I didn't mention it, so we've had to give that one a little mention. And the Clash classic album London Calling. Smith's one really is Morrissey at his best. You can see from the track list really some of his best songs on there. Just as important today as when they was made as well, just as poignant. And the Clash, really everyone knows that album. It was huge. It still is. There's a reason for that because the songs on it that don't age. The songs on there are just like they mean as much in society today as they did then. So on to the first of the three. First I've picked an EP for this one actually. It's The Specials. The Specials Ghost Town EP actually with B-sides of Why and Friday Night Saturday Morning. Everyone knows Ghost Town, everyone knows how on the money that is when looking at youth society, really something we're interested in here. And then the B-sides to it really, Why, is just an absolute belter.
Why did you try to hurt me? I got to know.
Questioning why racism still exists, and obviously this is 30 years ago almost, still exists now, so for me that makes it even more impressive that they've wrote this song.
Why do we have to fight? Why must we fight?
I could have picked other ones to go in our top three here. I could have picked The Specials 2, which is again a social masterpiece, and probably even more so Live at the Moonlight Club. When you listen to that, it is so far ahead of its time. 1979, and it could have come out last week and all the issues in it and stuff were the same. The second one we've got is The Matt Johnson's band with this album Mind Bomb. Everything about this album really, from the art to the track listing, it's just so good. This one actually had Johnny Marr on it as well. Johnny Marr worked on this album with him, and it's actually as well where we got the name for our blog from, A Beaten Generation, the opening track on it.
When you cast your eyes upon the skylines of this once proud nation, can you sense the fear and the hatred growing in the hearts of its population? Now
This is far from a one-track album though. There's other songs on here. August and September, for example, that is, again, you listen to that and the way it talks about society on there, it's eye-opening really, which Matt Johnson did with any album he's done. Some other stuff to go and listen to is Infected, which is probably the most successful album. Really poignant, really angry album as well, proper protest music on that one. And Slow Motion Replay as well, that one, slightly less political but still, if you're just there for the music, that one is a really good single. For my last one here, I was always going to have a Billy Bragg one because I think he's the artist who can do it best. He can write a song 30 years later, it still means exactly the same thing as it did then. He writes about matters that are important to people, to ordinary people, not to musicians. But then it was picking which one, and obviously you've got Life's Alright with Spy vs Spy, probably his best known album. He's been making music since early 1980s, so it was a really tough pick, this one. I've gone with Workers' Playtime, because I think the issues in there are more mixed. But other albums are pure politics, this one really, some not as much. You've got Little Time Bomb on here, which is about breaking up with someone and not wanting to move on and ruining your own life. I mean, it shows he's not one-dimensional with just politics. There's issues in here that are far from mainstream political issues. There's no talk of finance or budgets, really anything like that. And then you've got one of his best known songs to close the album, Waiting for the Great Leap Forward. You can say with this song it mentions Fidel Castro and Che Guevara. How is that up to date today? But you can see if you go and see him on a tour how interchangeable it is. He'll change names to Clegg, to Cameron, to Miliband.